cat in the background?
I'm not sure who that is, but okay.
West Coast.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Going live.
No doubt, no doubt. We back. The COSMIC Weathermen, HoodMystic, Honcho Buildinair, here with another live broadcast, and we discussing, some sidereal placements. We going to discuss the house system and how it connects to the astrology. But don't forget, if you're not in tune to Workshop Wednesday, please get in tune with Workshop Wednesday. There's a new guy out right now centered in numerology. Do you keep seeing the same numbers but have no idea what they mean? This one pager will give you the tools necessary to uncover life's messages. Be sure to check the links in the description to get that one pager. Be sure to follow She Reigns, the web, on Instagram. Those links are in the description as well. Also how to read natal charts easily and effectively, also manipulating the matrix. All of those links are in the description. We'll be dealing with that throughout the conversation, so don't worry. But if you want to understand it for your own self, if you want to deal with this knowledge in your own space in your own time, be sure to get these books, man. They're made for you. You know what I'm saying? So instead of reading books what other people are thinking and processing everybody else's thoughts, get some books where you can start to write down your own thoughts and reflect on your own mind and get some real enlightenment and real intuition. Honcho, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? My bad. I'm comfortable, getting comfortable learning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm getting set, but I'm good, man. How you?
Oh, I'm good, man. Just chilling. Just working a lot on different things, getting ready for this week, solar eclipse week, that type of deal, and then family stuff, holiday stuff, all of that. It's just,
yep, the vibe. That's pretty much the plan for everybody getting ready for holiday stuff. Get ready to chill with their family and enjoy good food and good times. I'm enjoying my life right now. Things are going on most definitely on the up. I have no complaints.
I mean, that's what's up, man. I mean, you've been manipulating the matrix in your favor, it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, I dibble dabble a little bit.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, man. Thanks to the book and everything that's in it. I can't lie. It's working, and I can't wait to share it to the world. My experiences and the things that I do in my personal life in order to restructure this world we live in.
No doubt. One more thing, be sure to join the email list, ladies and gentlemen, because we just put out that monthly meditation by Shireen. Yo, tell me if that's fire or not, Honcho.
That absolutely is the best, one of the best things I've listened to, and I don't listen to many I don't listen to many meditations.
Right.
I like to meditate on my own, in my own little space.
Right.
But you better believe I'm gonna be listening to those meditations, man. I really like the way they sound and how they came out. Yeah. I'm extremely proud of everything she's doing.
No doubt.
Yeah, like she outworking us, man.
No doubt. Man, so let's get into these transits, bro. What we gonna do is speak to the actual houses that these transits fall in, to give people a deeper understanding of the aspects, because in understanding the aspects personally is more easier to understand which house that this information is falling in. So what me and Honcho is going to do is explain which houses this energy is falling in our personal charts, and from that you can find out, like, maybe you got your transit chart pulled off to the side, and the aspects that we discuss, you can find out where there are in your chart to get a deeper understanding. And so the first concept that we're going to talk about, or the first aspect, is the Sun conjunct Jupiter in Sagittarius trine Uranus. For me, the Sun conjunct Jupiter is in my third house. That's in my house of communication. Trine Aries, which is in my seventh house. So communication within my relationships is something that is very a natural thing. But for me, since the third house is very esoteric, is ruled by Gemini, and then it trine in my seventh house, it's not so much as a relationship externally that I'm realizing. I'm realizing that that relationship is an internal relationship. And so that internal relationship is showing up in the dream world in my dreams, and I'm dreaming about specific people in specific situations. And then working through manipulating the matrix, I realized that, oh shit, this is my shadow. Like, this is my real life shadow. Like, this is the stuff that's holding me back at a deeper level. So in doing the process of writing letters and trying to deal with this inner process, I get to the point of raising the kundalini, ridding myself of that negative energy, and that's actually improving my relationship with my children, with my wife, with my family, with my mom, and from there, I guess at the end of it all, I always wanted to make my mom proud, and have her happy for me and things of that nature. And coming into that realization into this life, I'm actually living that, because for a majority of it, she was worried about me, so that's where I'm at with it, Honcho. What you got?
Okay, this Jupiter Sun trine Uranus. Well, for the past few weeks, we've been talking about shit coming in fast. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and all of this is in my seventh house. So, like you said, it's not necessarily relationships for you. It's more about your inner. And for me, it is definitely about relationships. Every single relationship that I've had in my entire life has come up ever since Saturn's gotten to Sagittarius. And recently, I magnetically drew a new relationship in. Oh shit! Yeah, so I magnetically drew a new relationship in, and now that relationship is drawn in, that relationship is here. We are actually taking action in that relationship. There are things that are going on personally between myself and another, where we're restructuring our lives to see ourselves together, not just together personally, but actually bringing her life and mine together so that we can have a future together. So this thing has really set off some positive things in my life. I've let go of a lot of people that were not necessarily going to be able to take this ride with me. I've been on a lot of business rides. I've rode a lot of nice business waves. I've made a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. I've made a lot of friends in business. But when it comes to just most recently, over the last 6 months, my business relationships are so they're important, but they're few now. It used to be a lot. And now I have really solid connections and people that I can reach out to and get anything that I need done. And I don't necessarily operate with a humongous staff anymore. It's really me and a few other people, and we just kind of keep things really lean. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having a lot of fat, we kind of try to keep it lean. But as far as the relationships go, my relationship life has been expanded to the point to where I'm able to talk to pretty much anybody. And I'm able to reel in true love and have a person that for me does it for me. Some people may be in relationships where I don't want to speak bad on anybody, but it's just that the relationship doesn't do it for them. And so I found a situation that works for me, and it's allowing me to expand my seventh house, of course, my 10th house, of course, my first house. You see me more, you see me talking more, and even how we function here has adjusted a little bit, and that has a lot to do with that seventh house. So, Uranus is conjuncting my moon sign, so my emotional state of being is on some unique and original rebellious shit. And, all of these Sagittarius planets are in the seventh house. So this is really big for me. This is extremely big for me, actually. So, one would say things are on fire.
Right. And that's beautiful, because a lot of it is dealing with like this winter solstice energy combined with a solar eclipse that's coming up, and really realizing that, okay, ritualistically utilizing the modality of fire, one has to burn things away. That's what fire does. Like, in no matter where you at, if you burning something, that means that it's going to take it away, right? And
Absolutely.
and beyond that, what we can do to protect ourselves from the fire, from the flame, is having the particular meditation or the particular intention setting to protect us from this actual process of, the fire, because the sun and Jupiter is in the fire sign, Uranus is in the fire sign. So that's really, to me, raising my energy, raising my vibrations. And so the higher I go, the lighter I must be, right? And so,
Yeah, most definitely. You can't go higher and have attachments to lower things.
mm,
Some things like it's like, the key don't fit.
nah, right. And that's really what's important, though. I've been just utilizing the modality of fire in a practical, real sense. Like, it's just different vibes that you can get into when you're dealing with fire, that candles don't be enough fire for me. So we've been outside in the winter with the bonfire, just representing this winter solstice energy, because we got the real mindset to release and remove negative energies from our being, from our household, from our lives, that don't necessarily need to be there, because we're center on the real success. And real success, you can't have lingers on, you can't have baggage.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm
No, you
saying?
can't.
Because
Real
negative
success ain't
vibrations.
internal. I mean, it's not external. It's internal.
Exactly. And that's more or less where it's at. um you can't have nobody on your team really rooting against you and then wanting to be successful. You know how many times people be really dealing with the negative energy of their partner or job, you know what I'm saying? And they be great, you
Yeah.
feel me? But that person that's really close to you needs to be rooting for you. And if they not rooting for you, then you feeling this
Uh,
eclipse energy hard.
Facts. Facts. So we going towards the eclipse energy, right? That's
Yeah.
what we talking about.
I mean,
Well,
not necessarily. I mean, we could just keep going. I mean, we could talk about, if you
yeah,
want to.
yeah. I mean, we go there. Let's go there. We there. So for me, this eclipse energy, of course, is in the seventh house. We already talked about it being in your third, and it's just like the preparation of like getting ready to burn the rest of the cords. Like whatever's left. Like it's time to go get you. Like you said, you needed a bonfire because the candles wasn't too much for you. Well, shit, I'm triple fire, bro. Like I got Aries Sun, Aries Moon, Aries Mercury. So, I got all the fire that I need. All I need is a candle. And so it's just, for me, it's literally time to burn any perception, any emotional core, any passionate core that I have that doesn't line up with the life that I'm supposed to be living, with the life that I chose to live. If it don't add up, it's time to burn it out and get it away. You feel me? And get it out of here. Because there's no need for it at this point. It's gonna do all of the old things that don't belong into the new life going into this next eclipse are not going to hinder you. They will destroy anything that you have going. It's just like, okay, if I'm gonna bring some of this old soil with me that's poisoned, and I'm gonna put the poisoned soil into the new garden, all my plants are gonna still have the poison. So it's just like you gotta let it all go, burn it all away, and that's really what is going on for me.
Mhm.
I'm writing a lot of things out, and I plan on burning as much stuff as I possibly can find, so that the new life going into the new eclipse, going into the eclipse, can really be as pure as it can be.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Definitely a powerful time, as far as the eclipse. And if people are preparing or even understand the energy of the eclipse, it's a new moon, but you utilizing, the power of the moon more than you would the power of the sun, because the sun is going to be debilitated in the idea of the solar or the solar eclipse, because the solar is the sun being eclipsed by the moon. So the moon takes center stage in this particular new moon. And so with that understanding, is we're able to really focus on our subconscious mind power. The key to that is, are you subconsciously aligned because the subconscious mind needs to really be interfaced with. And it's hard to interface with the subconscious mind throughout the day. The best way we deal with it is when we dream, when we see, you see it. So are you actually controlling it? Are you actually dealing with it? Dealing with the moon in specific, the moon is conjunct Mars, sextile Pluto. Where's the moon at? It's at the beginning of Scorpio, Libra. The Mars is in Libra. For me, this is in my second house. So quite simply, I'm just focusing in on my finances, but since it's sextile Saturn and Pluto, it's in my fourth house. So my financial gains and things of that nature, they have a direction towards a new home in a new state.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which I talked about in the last, I'm building now, I'm financially planning, right? From a subconscious level, like I'm going to have enough money to move my family. And with me saying that, now I'm putting in the action steps to procure that, so that's really how it's affecting me. Where is it showing up in your chart, and how is it reading to you?
You know what? This is interesting because I didn't look into this until just now. This is in my fifth house. This is in my fifth house. This is dealing with when the moon and Mars is dealing with my life, my personal life, really my children. You know what I mean? My experiences when it comes to my expression. Giving me an opportunity to just say, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna put my intentions on camera and I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going on in my life since we in that space. And I'm gonna talk about my emotional state of being since we in that space. That's where it's dealing with romance in that life since we in this space. So for me, man, when this is dealing with everything that's going on with the relationships that I have. I'm having to express to my children the new life that we're going to be living. With the way in which I've chosen to go about living my life. I'm having to express to the damn internet about what's going on with me and express and explain how my emotional state of being has changed. So I chose to follow the spirit instead of following what the Bible would say. I chose to listen to my own self, and I chose to seek happiness other places. When it comes to my romance, like Mars being in Libra, Libra like to be romantic. You feel me? And Mars like to have sex. So the romance and casual sex life would most definitely end up on a high. You know what I'm saying? If I indulge in those energies. So for me, this house is ancient knowledge. So all of the stuff that I've been studying and learning, all of the stuff that I've been practicing in my everyday life, I can bring it to you guys and I can express it to y'all and explain to you everything is a sign for me. Everything I do is a sign. Like when I make a move, I'm looking for a sign before I make my next move. I don't care what time it is because I don't move on time. I move where the planets tell me to move. This is how I live my life every day. This is how I reeled in everything I ever wanted. This is how I manifested with you and with Shireen, manipulating the matrix. This is what I do. This is not something I think about. I live this shit. So this is what the moon is. It's giving me the energy to be expressive and aggressive while I'm saying it. You can see sweat coming out of my face because it's me firing up. So this is what it's doing for me, giving me the opportunity to be as expressive as I would like to.
No doubt. And you had mentioned about like the spiritual energy and enlightening that spiritual energy, and that brings up the next transit, Mercury square Neptune. For me, Mercury is in my third house and Neptune is in my fifth house. So this reads out to me like what I'm doing now. I'm communicating but I'm always thinking about different ways and better ways and just more refined ways of how to communicate. And it's been something that's been really, really on my mind. Like, as far as like just the third house is my writing and all of that. And honestly, it connects to my fifth house of creativity. But for me, it's more of operating out of a spiritual integrity that's going to provide value for my works. And so that's really what's on my mind, you know. And I think the square to it is, you know, maybe the doubt of it might not manifest the way I want it to
Yeah,
manifest, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And not allowing that to stop me. I guess in dealing with squares, you could deal with the truth of how you feel. Like, maybe I'm a little fearful, maybe I'm having doubts, but okay, if I acknowledge it, I can work through it, you know what I'm saying? And give myself that pep talk or have a conversation to, you know, lift me up or whatever is needed. And so I know where I'm trying to go and I know where I'm trying to take it and I know what I need to do. And doubts and fears and all of that shit just not a part of it. So when the things do come up, I'm dealing with it. I'm facing it. And so that's how I handle a square, you know. So what'd you get though?
yeah. Well, Mercury's in my sixth house, and you know, it's in with Mercury being in Scorpio, real close to the galactic center, man. It's just I'm communicating a lot, you know, about what my everyday is going to be, how I plan on living my everyday life. I've been restructuring my everyday life, implementing new people to help me do certain things because my life's not what it used to be. You know, I have a new situation, and there's new people involved, and I have to make sure. Once again, we were talking about the fifth house with my children. I have to make sure that things go well with them and things go well with my past situations. So for me, it's just been really like deep communication about the changes that are transpired in my life, and really getting down to the seeds of every circumstance or situation, so that going forward there won't be anything that we haven't discussed, so that everything will go accordingly. You know, so I'm having some really deep conversations about plans for what my children's life is going to be and what my life will be as far as what I'm doing as far as work every day. What the person I'm with is doing as far as work, and how everything will go. Where we plan on putting our money and what we plan on doing with our money. So this is really like and how we plan on utilizing the internet to express our story, and consistently continue putting out books and things and promoting our life, because life to people physically may be hard, but the spiritual life that we're living is easy and it's settled, and it allows us to sleep at night. So just being aware that Neptune has us utilizing all of this communication to the best of our ability, reaching out to people that we don't know, but because we can touch them, because the internet is there, utilizing that and having a real deep thought about what you want to express to whatever you're doing, and then just doing it. You know, to me, a square is a learning process, a place where you have to take action. So to me, it's just like the deep conversations must be had, but you got like the must be had part is the action. Like, we gotta have this conversation. We gotta talk about what we're doing next. We have to discuss how we're gonna live day to day. We have to do this. If we don't, we're going to learn from it the hard way. So better we take advantage of all of the opportunity of a square, and utilize the timing to communicate the deep things in an Aquarian way. You know what I'm saying? We can be fixated in our thinking, but Aquarian, you're rarely finding Aquarius rowdy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You'll rarely find them rowdy. So to me, it's just best like utilize their communication, that deep communication, that intense communication, and just kind of transform it and be a humanitarian with it. When you're communicating those new ideas, those deep ideas, just kind of do it in a humanitarian way, like somebody thinking about the people, not themselves.
Right. 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 So communication, because Neptune is in Aquarius, Mercury is about communication and really having that talk if necessary, and not operating out of fear. because if you operate out of fear, you're not gonna really have those talks. Dealing with another square, since we dealing with the learning lessons. Venus square Uranus. Where is this at for me? Venus is in my 4th house, okay, and squaring this Uranus energy. What does that look like? Uranus is in my 7th house, so of course, I guess where you think about like this for me, and like Uranus being in my 7th house in Aries, quite naturally it's about new relationships, new partnerships, because as Uranus has entered Aries, I found my wife, started businesses, started a lot of things since this placement has taken place, and it's like real partnerships, and that's just kind of how I want to give it up. But I think for me, the square is like knowing the difference between a vision versus, you know, people who just kind of just want to stick to it for their personal gain. But then there's also a way to kind of think about this as like a partnership. And a lot of times it don't be partnership. So for me personally, since it's in the Aries, Uranus is in Aries, and partnership and close relationships is kind of my thing, it's kind of my bag. A lot of people don't fit into that criteria. So at the beginning of this process, I was welcoming. But as this square is showing up, it's like, it's not the idea to be so real welcoming, or not to even be closed off, but to be focused on what I'm creating. Because that to me is where I'm at in my 4th house, in my home, being centered with altars and all of this stuff. Like my spiritual life, my 4th house is very sacred to me. So in order to bring people in, I gotta be real smart about that moving forward, and just kind of reflecting on it. You know, Venus don't really take long with her aspect, so deal with it, move on, you know, and just kind of know like, all right, this is how I'm gonna move forward, and this is how I'm gonna move, and I'm gonna move accordingly based on what I want to manifest. So that's just how I read it. What you take from it?
Okay. Well, Venus is in my 8th house, and I think we talked about Uranus being in my 11th. So with that square, it's just like my new life and the new things that I value. You know what I'm saying? Because with Venus being in Capricorn, just not leaving Sagittarius, you know, that switched up a lot of things for me in the 7th, and so now it's like I'm restructuring my life. You know, Venus says, okay, now that you've decided that you're going to choose to have or experience whatever you want, how are you going to live? What are you planning? How does the groups and associations that you are a part of, and how does the businesses that you rock with and that you own, how do they correlate with the life and that you're choosing to live now? How do they correlate with the people that you surround yourself with, and the environment that you are in, and the things that you love? Like, what am I gonna do? So like with Venus being a Cap, for me, it's like it's time to plan everything out. I was just, you know, touching bases on like how to go about communicating the changes, but now that there are changes, I have to plan for what I'm going to do about those changes and how they're gonna work out for my life. So going like, if I'm gonna, you know, whatever I have personally going on for like my businesses, how do I plan on setting that up and aligning that with my groups and associations? How do I align my personal life with my children, with my groups and associations, and with the new things that I value, since the values have changed for me? So it's really like Venus for me is just more so just getting myself prepared for change. You know what I'm saying? Capricorn comes to bring a plan, a strategic plan on how to execute. And if I'm going to take all of my new values and the things that I love and the things that I want to do and my relationships that I've acquired, if I'm going to take these things and I'm going to keep these things and hold on to them, and they're going to be useful for me, what is the best way to integrate these things into everything that Uranus has changed for me? Uranus has changed a lot. is putting me into a lot of different rooms and into a lot of different situations now with it being in my 11th house. I'm sorry, I said earlier it was conjunct my moon, but it's conjunct my sun sign. So with it conjuncting my sun sign, it's made me take action in a lot of different areas in my life. So now, how do I continue to take my unique action or my rebellious action and apply this new plan that I have from Venus? How do I apply those new values I have, the new love I have, the new money that I have, the new experiences that I'm experiencing? How can I apply this to my groups and associations, to the set, to my own YouTube, whatever that may be for me personally? How do I apply that? That's what's going on with Venus and Uranus for me.
No doubt. So moving forward, we got strategic planning, something that you tied into, something that made me think about this Mars sextile Saturn and Pluto. So this Saturn Pluto is outside of my 3rd house, entering into my 4th house. Like I told y'all, the home is something very sacred to me. It's something that I'm really focused on building. And so Mars having that energy, it's like a blueprint. And we had talked about this earlier. Like if I have a blueprint and I map something out, a lot of people don't have the confidence or the foreknowledge to map things out. And that's kind of why we put out this book, to help people with the confidence and the know-how that you can actually diagram some stuff out. You can live through intention. But you just got to know that it works in the night paradigm. It ain't you thinking about some stuff all day. It's writing it down before you go to sleep. That's way more powerful than thinking about it all day. So for me, manipulating the matrix, architecture in my life, and getting it into like a full blueprint, and knowing that since Saturn conjunct Pluto is there and is going to be there by the time Mars catches up, that initial planning that I'm doing, and I can plan whatever the hell I want to plan. I'm aware of that, but I have a specific plan and a specific goal and specific things that I want to do. And not for me, but I represent a whole family. I'm a head of household, so I gotta think on multiple levels. What's the best for my children? What's the best for my wife? I got other shit coming. You know what I'm saying? Like I got other shit coming.
You got preparation.
Yeah, I gotta prepare the best that I can. And I know even though I prepare, shit ain't gonna be perfect. But that ain't gonna stop me from preparing. And so that's really me taking this Mars hard approach to this sextile and being confident about it, because even spiritual people say, oh, I hear it a lot now, we can't predict the future, we can't change the future, we just gotta let things be and just be happy. And I'm like, yeah, but I ain't giving it up that easy. And that's just me personally.
Yeah. Right on. I can attest to that. For me, Saturn, are you there? You there? We good?
Yeah, we there. I'm listening.
Okay, cool. Saturn and Pluto for me is in that 7th house again. My entire life is about my 7th house right now. I must have, before I got here, I must have picked the chart and was like, yeah, I'm gonna deal with all this relationship shit before I move on into my next life. So Saturn and Pluto has torn down everything, of course, and really changed my perspective on business, on relating, on marriage, on just relationships in general. And now that I've been able to take certain actions to prepare myself for the future, it's about that time for me to discuss what happened in my life. How do we get to Honcho? How do I get? I'm a 29-year-old kid. How do I get to, or an adult, whatever you want to call it? How do we get to a space to where now you're about to hit your Saturn return? You're an astrologer. You're an entrepreneur. You have 3 children. You've been married 10 plus years. And all of these things that you've accumulated over this time is something that you're not interested in, or something that you want to do other things that you can expand on those things now. My interests have fallen away. I used to really be about this money. You know what I'm saying? Like big time, bro. And I still make money out of nothing. However, I don't desire money. I don't desire to be, popular for my abilities in entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 16. I've been making money since I was 16. Like, I don't desire this shit no more. I desire spiritual relationships. I desire to help others. You know what I mean? I desire to help other people achieve their greatness. You know what I'm saying? That's what's satisfying. That's success for me. You know what I'm saying? I used to make really good money every day. You know what I'm saying? From everywhere. I mean, I still make great money now. I sit on my ass and I make money every day. I don't go to work. I don't have to do shit. And even the stuff that I do have to do, I make more money than the average person. But it's all for me. I've been living an entrepreneurial life. It's been about me. You know what I'm saying? Now it's for me, those things don't fulfill me anymore. I don't care about a $2,000, $3,000 day. I don't care about, you know what I'm saying, what I can make. I care about how can I help us, the two other people that I wrote a book with, how can I give them my entrepreneurship skills to teach them and to help the cause, which is selling books? How can I help that process? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care about whatever check I'm about to get from this book. What I care about is that my partners that I linked up with, because it's still 7th house. So my partners that I linked up with on the book, that they feel like they achieved their goal with the book. Because my goal is them achieving their goal. So that my desire and what I need out of life now is to help others. And if I don't get my fix, I got a situation, I got an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a fix for me for you to be successful. You feel me? So it's a different mindset that I'm living. That Saturn and Pluto tore down my perception. Made me rebuild what I believe in. Made me, with Jupiter there, made me rebuild what I believe in. And so, the sextile to Mars, the sextile to the moon, this is me giving y'all my emotional state of being. This is me giving you my intention. I intend to tell my story. I intend to express my emotions on camera. I intend to express to people what the fuck I went through, because there's a lot of good shit in my life, and there's a lot of bad shit too. However, all of these experiences can help somebody else. And that's what matters to me in my life today. So that's what this is about for me.
No doubt. Man. So, and then kind of finishing up Saturn conjunct Pluto and Sag. For me, I just want to bring this to attention because it's kind of one of the major astrological placements that's happening in the past 33 years. So a lot of changes and transformations. Imam said that if you wasn't doing work these past 6 months, this next 6 months you gonna probably be cooked. And I like his words because fire, like I said, burns, and the reason for Kundalini and the reason for spiritual practices is because it raises your cellular levels and cellular consciousness to prepare. So it's like if astrology can be like a fire is about to come in 2 months. So quite logically, you gather up all your necessities, all your real things that matter to you most. And then once all that shit's removed, once the fire come, you plotting on, how you going to revamp the land, how you going to flip the land over again. So, Saturn and transformation is all about turning over the land. And once the land is turned over, the job is not over because now it has to be retilled and it has to be resoiled. And that's why we bringing up this new information. That's why we speak into this spiritual energy technology and learning how to manipulate the matrix. So and part of it is like, okay, buy the book. But then again, a lot of people not gonna buy the book. But that don't matter. You're still supposed to manipulate this matrix. You're still supposed to utilize, this nighttime energy, utilize the dream world to understand some things that's going on within you, to clear it, to work with it, all types of different things. So, all of this energy for me has been a build up to changing my reality and, turning the tides. And we can see things in our media, in our world, and you can see the world changing. And a lot of it is because we've been putting in the work for that to change at a spiritual level. And I just need everybody to realize that.
Right on. Right on. Was there any questions in the box? I can't see them.
Um, it should be on the live, but then again, we open it
Yeah, I
up
can't
for
see them.
we opening it up for questions, family. So if y'all do have any questions, please let us know in the chat, and once they come through, I'll read them all.
Yeah.
So family, if y'all got any questions related to the astrology, just let us know and we could get it popping for y'all. Anything related to astrology,
Anything related to this week?
anything related to this week, let's get into it.
I got a question. Hood, you doing anything special for the eclipse?
Uh, anything special? Just really cracking open a book, like really, and just working in a book, and just kind of just like really, because I haven't really set no real intentions for real, like and written down. Got a lot of shit going on in my head, but I think the most important thing that I'm gonna do is sit and try to imagine the best possible outcome for me and my family for 2020, and of course spend time with my family because all my kids are gonna be here. So just crack open these gifts, crack open these Xboxes and shit, do that, you know what I'm saying, and just
Right on,
really
right on. Get on
enjoy
some
the
2K.
family. Yeah, all of that, all of that,
Right on.
all of that, man. What about you? What's your solar eclipse? You were saying something
I'm
about
I'm getting a new spot, man. I'm
mm,
getting me a new. Yeah, I'm moving. I'm in transition, so like I'm looking forward to like moving, getting me a moving truck. You know what I'm saying? Moving all my stuff in. Like I'm looking forward to that. You know what I mean? I'm also looking forward to just coming on and I got a tarot show that we starting on the 26th. I think that's the 26th. I think. I have a couple shows myself that I plan on doing on YouTube that people will see me more, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more astrology and kind of like correlate the life like we do. Give people the house systems and let people know. Everybody out here is dealing with some of the similar situations. We just got to kind of talk about them, and I just want to inform as much as I can. I'm really really strong on timing and studying the sky. So I just want to share that with as many people as I can now that I've experienced life from behind the scenes.
No doubt, no doubt. I got a question that came through. Tanisha said she's an ascendant Cancer, Sun in Cancer, Moon in Scorpio. What does this weekly forecast mean for her? The first thing that popped up into my mind, and this is like broad, because I don't know your exact placements and stuff like that, but first thing that popped in my mind is like really creating steam. And steam is the energy to allow things to go, but you got to generate that steam. So if you feel like things ain't going in the direction that you might want them to go, because a lot of energy is not centered in your ascendant sun sign, so you got to really be self-initiated. So if you can muster up the energy to kind of be self-initiated and focusing on your own personal dreams and own personal goals, really utilize that energy this week. This is, like I said, between me and Honcho, we came up with the understanding that we both doing a lot of planning and a lot of preparing for what's to come. So if you kind of caught up, that ascendant Cancer, Sun Cancer, Moon in Scorpio could be, I don't know this for sure, but it could really show like you really focused in what's happening right now, and that's well and good. But you know, time's gonna move forward, and you got actual things that you want to do. You got a lot of talent and a lot of spiritual influences with you presently. So are you utilizing them? Are you aware of your past, present, and future? And if you are fully aware on that, are you prepared and planning for what's to come?
I don't want to touch that because that was good. I'm gonna let you keep. I'm gonna let her rock with it. I don't think she needs two interpretations.
Yeah. Yes. Somebody said they had a question.
I think that was her though. I
Yeah.
think Iman was letting us know about her.
Okay.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that though, bro.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah, really do. I appreciate y'all your support too, man. I see you every week.
Yeah, chopping it up, and I appreciate that. You know, appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody supporting this growth. Yeah, man. It's definitely a time for real growth and real understanding, and we continuing to bring content. I know I'm bringing things to the table, Honcho bringing things to the table, Shireen bringing things to the table. If you want to join the set, utilize the links in the description to click on the link to join our email list. And if you wasn't here at the beginning, we talking about Shireen's one-page guide. She just dropped one on Wednesday, workshop Wednesdays, one centered in numerology. A lot of people have been seeing repeating numbers and things of that nature. Don't you want to know what those numbers mean? For only $1, you can get a one-page guide utilizing the links in the description. So, you know, don't be cheap on that dollar. Spend that buck, you know, and get informed.
Tanisha asked me to speak to it, so I'm gonna do it anyway. Let me look at it real quick. Since she asked. Okay, so you got the moon and Mars at home. It's really important that you set your intentions at home on this new moon, like on this eclipse. Like Mars been in your house, so I would imagine that, you know, I don't know what's going on at home. I'd imagine the emotions are extremely high at home right now. So I would take that emotional state of being, especially with the emotions conjuncting Mars, and don't let that be seen outwardly. Just just communicate with whoever you need to communicate with. Talk to the people. Have those conversations that need to happen at home. But as far as work goes, I don't know if you need work, missing work, having a problem at work, somebody having issues with you at work. But whatever's going on at work, you got a lot of energy going on with you in your sixth house, within your day-to-day life and your health. And I would encourage you to be very aware of anything going on with your health as far as like your thighs area. You know what I'm saying? Sagittarius rules the thighs areas. I'd also say if you got new work or if you have old work, be diligent at your job right now. You know what I'm saying? Be diligent, be aware of people watching you, you know, and if you have new job offers coming up, you know, take every job offer that you have coming at you, you know what I mean? And be very diligent in looking at those things and being aware of what it is you want in your life. How do you want to live your day-to-day life? Pluto and Saturn are conjunct in your sixth house or about to conjunct in your sixth house. So how do you plan? What do you want out of life? And then give that the best that you have. Like, take this energy and change your day-to-day life, change your health, change the way in which you see the unconscious things. You know what I'm saying? What you can't see. Become more aware of what's unconscious to you. And utilize the North Node in your 12th house and take that as far as you can. Like, learn as much, listen to as much HoodMystic as you can. And once you know what I'm saying, listen to as much astrology as you can. Listen to as many things that you can listen to help better your sixth house, because right now, all of the energies that I spoke about earlier in my seventh, I'm sure it's crazy in your day-to-day life right now, whether that be crazy blessings or crazy hell. So my only advice is mostly just to pay very close attention to work, health, and what's unconscious to you. Take as much energy as you can and start learning at home. You know, that whatever's going on at home, keep the emotions low. Just talk about it. That's it.
Hope that satisfied you, Tanisha. Both perspectives. Don't see many questions on the chat. Guess we kind of touched on a lot of things. A lot of people were saying, you know, it was tying into things that they was going through. So, you know, it's very important that, you know, these conversations and looking at where the astrology happens in your chart is really helpful. You know what I'm saying? Like, and hopefully, you know, through this conversation, it could inspire you to open up your chart and look at, okay, how does this energy affect me? What house? What conjunctions? You know, all of this stuff, you know, is very important because it helps you understand your day to day, or why your relationship is going, or why your job is tripping, or why you might need to change your job and all of this stuff. So, you know, keep vigilant and keep awareness on this. Did I say something funny? Yeah, bro.
Little John. Well,
Sounds like we put another one in the books, bro.
that'll work, man. That'll work. I like Sundays, man.
No
Since
doubt.
Sundays.
No doubt. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, you know, share this video. Whenever Honcho comes, let me know if his YouTube page. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to that as well.
I have everything for everybody next week, and times of shows, everything. It's gonna be big. We'll talk about it.
All right, cool. So next Sunday, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Peace, family. We'll see y'all next week. All right, then, Honcho.
Peace.
Peace.